Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Matrix Fitness Live Lunchtime Workout. My name is Gleed. Today we're going to be running you through a 30-minute workout. We have 3 rounds of exercises. Each round will have 3 exercises in them. And during those exercises, what we'll do is 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds recovery, allowing you a little bit of time to work out what the exercise is going to do. But we will repeat all the exercises. That way then, once you have given the exercise a bit of a go, you can always repeat them, and then you'll know exactly what you're doing in the second time that we go through that little circuit as well. So the first thing we're going to do is get you warmed up. So just loosen up your body a little bit. Start any watches or recording devices that you might have. And we'll get mine set up. And then what we're going to do is just basically get you marching on the spot. And what we want you to do is just bring your knees up nice and high. The whole idea here is to start to mobilize through your hips, your knees and your ankles, but also through your shoulders and your elbows as well. Now as you're doing these, just start to come up onto your forefoot a little bit higher. What I'd like you to do now is just to push off your foot a little bit higher so your heel comes off the floor. And what this starts to do is it starts to activate through your calves and also through your hamstrings and your glutes a little bit more, just so we can get you moving and get you working a little bit higher. And then if you can, just start to push your knee up a little bit higher again. Okay, now what we're going to do is pretend you have a skipping rope. So imagine you're imagining a skipping rope here, and I just want you jumping on the spot. Now when you're doing this, what I want you to do is just think about pushing off your feet. During today's workout, we have got some mobility work built into this bit of strength work. And in our second round of exercises, we're going to be doing some core work as well. So we've got a nice combination of exercises for you. And when you're doing this one, just start to move from side to side at the moment. So just keeping your feet together, just move your feet from side to side. Just keeping that imaginary skipping rope going around you. That's great. Now just moving it forwards and backwards as well. So what we're trying to do is get your heart rates up and get you working a little bit smarter so we can get your body prepared for the workout we've got going ahead as well. Okay, now check this one out. What we're going to do, standing sideways on, it's going to be a jab, cross, jab, and then rotate 180 degrees and jab, cross, jab, and let's go again. So jab, cross, jab. Now, once you're doing these ones, just allow your weight to shift from foot to foot as well. So that way then you're just starting to move and engage all these muscles, starting to keep you active. Good, so throwing around about shoulder height to head height. And all we're looking to do is a nice quick punch combination and then get you moving again on your feet, just so we can keep you active and get your body all prepared. We do have some upper body exercises coming in today, so I want you to make sure that your shoulders, your back muscles and your chest are all ready for the work that you're going to be doing as well. Okay, now just take a half a squat for me. So hands can go to the side of the hips, just lower your hips down a little bit towards your heels. Now I don't have to go too deep to begin with. We're going to build in that range of movement, and also we're going to start to build in that muscle activation as well. So think about lowering your hips towards your heels, making sure that your weight is equal into all of the feet, so you're not leaning too far back on your heels, you're certainly not coming onto your toes too much either. So think about your weight equal from side to side, but at the same time forwards and backwards as well. Okay, now check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to take a large step over to one side and then push yourself back off. Okay, so we're just going to go to one side to begin with. And what I want you to think about here is starting to get a stretch through that inner thigh. So you might need to create a little bit of space around you, just so that way then you can start to find where you're going to get that best amount of stretch as well. Okay, last one. And what we're going to do is we're going to swap it over to the opposite side as well. So just stepping into that lunge. Now the reason we're doing this one is because coming up in our exercises, we've got some exercises where you're going to be starting to stretch through the hamstrings and through the adductors as well. So we want to make sure that we've got all of those muscles ready. Do the last few on this side. So a nice big step and then push yourself back again. Now what we're going to do this time is we're going to take a high kick. It's going to be around about hip to chest height. And what we need to do is almost step in and just kick yourself up nice and high. So think about pushing the heel through when you go into this kick. And you can see I'm using my arms just to create a little bit of a swing, just so we can improve the athletic movement here, getting that heel up nice and high as well. Good. Okay, the last couple of these, then we're going to take into some jumping jacks, just so we can get the heart rates up a little bit higher. So hands can come out to around about shoulder height. Now as you're jumping wide and narrow, starting to get your heart rates up a little bit more now. If you would like to take the heart rates up even higher, Allow your arms to come completely up above your head. And when that does, start to increase your heart rate a little bit more, so the body pushes the blood around a little bit further. Good. That's great. Okay, now have a little relax there. Just loosen up your body. Now, I've got a mat, a towel, and a bit of water available in case you need it. The first exercise we're going to do is going to be down on the floor. So if you join me down on the floor, hands are going to be flat onto the floor. On the first exercise, you are going to sit on your foot, and you're going to sit down right next to where your hands are. And then from that position, you come back into the center, into almost like an all-fours position, and then you kick your foot over to the opposite side. These are called kick sets, and the idea behind it is you push your foot through from side to side. We'll start slow in 5 seconds time, and then don't forget we'll be doing all these exercises the second time when you become a little bit more familiar. So kick your heel through, come back to the center, and then over to the opposite side. Now when you're doing these ones, if you find that you're a little bit stiff, you can take the hand off the floor, and that's absolutely fine. If that's where you need to be today, where you're increasing your range of movement, so this is work on your mobility, then that's absolutely fine. You're still going to be working lots of leg muscles, and you're also going to be really challenging through the arms if you keep your weight down into the arms as well. Now the option is to keep both hands down, which does challenge your breathing a little bit more. But again, it's your workout. You've got 3 seconds to go, get one more in, come back to the center. Brilliant. Now what we're going to do is a forwards and backwards lunge. So you need a little bit of space in front of you. And from that really deep lunge position, just take the back knee off the floor. And then from here, we're going to lunge forwards and backwards. And we're just going to keep this going, okay? So it's just on the one side. So that one leg is going to stay stuck to the floor, and the opposing leg is going to be moving around it. Now when you're starting to take into those big steps, try and make sure that the weight goes down towards your back knee. If you're leaning into your front foot or your back foot, that can start to load up the muscles in a way that doesn't feel comfortable. Let's swap the legs over. That's the same thing. So from that deep lunge position, lunge forwards and lunge back, keeping in a nice straight position. Think about keeping your back nice and straight. And the benefit of doing that means that you don't start to put any pressure onto your lower back or your hips as well. Okay, shake those legs out. So that's the first 2 exercises. Here's the next one. I'll turn over a bit of an angle so you can see. Turn your feet wide for me. Place your hands to touch the floor. You're going to push off the floor, jump 90 degrees, and then you jump back and place your hands, and you alternate from side to side. Let's go. So these are called pop-up sumo squats, but you're putting in a little rotation of 90 degrees. Now I think these are great exercises because they work through the legs, and almost every single muscle in the legs, but at the same time, it's great for a bit of agility work. So if you play any team sports, or you're looking for a little bit more tone and definition in aesthetic goals, these are great exercises just to push off the floor and rotate yourself through as well. So keep those 90-degree jumps going, rotating around from one side to the other, and then back to the center. Last one. Okay, shake it out. So they're the first 3 exercises. Let's go through all those again. Kick sits, the forward and backwards lunges, and then the sumo pop-up squats. Down to the floor, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. Kick through, option bring that hand up if you'd like to. Remember, the goal of bringing the hands both down on the floor means it starts to challenge your mobility a little bit more, but it also gives your arms a bit more time and attention, which means that they load up a little bit further. This is good. Keep it going, keep it going. Keep pushing through. Just over 10 seconds of work to go. You're going to feel like the heart rate's up. You're going to be breathing in deep. Just keep working through these. Last one, and relax there. Okay, here comes the lunges. Bring up, shake your legs out, find yourself a nice big space. From here, lunge down. Now remember, this front foot is going to be stuck where it is, and we're going to be pivoting around that, so forwards and back a bit. Okay, let's go. And again, you can start to see that my arms are being used. Now the idea behind using my arms here It helps me maintain a little bit of core control. It also helps me push off the floor in the back position, but it also helps me control the lowering phase in front. Now, the reason that's important is it keeps control around your knee. We want to make sure that your muscles get strong and we're not putting your knee joint in bad positions. So swap them over. Same thing on the opposite side. So go one side into the other. Remember, it's one foot stays still, stuck onto the floor, and then it's this other leg which lunges in front and behind it as well. Okay, shake out. Sumo pop-up squat. Okay, quick feet, that's your goal on this one, okay? Feet turn wide, lower your hips towards your heels, try and keep your chin and chest tall, and then from here, you push up to 90 degrees, come back into the center, and let's go. So alternation from side to side. Good, let's get these moving then. Nice and quickly, try and keep your chin and chest up. Looking down at the floor, sends you back into a bit of a curve. That's not what we want. Nice straight spines when you're exercising. Keep in the safest, strongest position you can. Just push off the feet as quick as you can. Just keep your heart rates up. Keep yourself moving. Just over 10 seconds of work to go. It is going to be burning a little bit, but just around the corner, we're going to hit the floor and give you a few exercises where your heart will come back down. So keep working for me. Last one. Okay, shake them out. Okay, grab yourself a mat, or a jumper, or a towel, anything that will allow you to be comfortable on the floor. Now what we're doing on this exercise is we're going to go straight into a crunch position. So onto your back, hands behind the back of your head, and I want you to come up and back down. So think about lifting your shoulder blades off the floor, your chin and chest lifted up towards the ceiling. And what you're looking for when you're doing this one, pick a point on the ceiling to look at, and match your target all the time. Have a closer look at it, and then lower yourself back down. Now once we've done 10, we're going to do one more. Hold up. Now rotate from side to side 4 times, then come back to the center, hands to the back of the head, and lower yourself back down. Let's do that again. Now the reason why I have my hands at the back of my head is to support the weight of the head as well. The neck can get strained if you're not supporting. Let's come up, hold, and rotate, and relax it. Okay, have a lie down onto your fronts now. You're going to go into a press-up position. This exercise is called a mountain climber. It's a great abdominal exercise again. So hands a little bit wide where your shoulders are, and you're just going to bring your knees in and out. So think about driving your knees. Look down at the floor. Think of an imaginary line between your fingertips. You can make this as quick or as slow as you want. The quicker you go, what I need you to do is to make sure that your spine is staying really straight. So think about bringing your shoulder blades towards the back of your hips, squeezing them down nice and tight. You might even also think about turning your elbows forwards a little bit, so in towards the body, underneath the body, and bring them in nice and tight there. Last 10 seconds of work to go on these mountain climbers. Then we're going to have a lie down on your backs. And there we go. Okay, lying on your backs, we're going to do a glute bridge. So, what we're looking for this one, heels dug into the floor, hands down by your side, lift your hips up, and then lower yourself back down. Now the goal here is to extend it up for your hips, so that your hips are literally extended forward. Let's go through these. So it's 45 seconds of work. Now you're going to see that my heels are on the floor, not my feet. So the reason why I'm pushing through my heels is it gives me a little bit more work on my hamstrings. I think this is one of the best exercises people can do if they get stiff lower backs, or maybe they've got a weak core, we often describe by that. Then this exercise is a really good one for activating hamstrings, glutes, and the lower back all at the same time. So it's a really good exercise, especially for home exercise as well. You'll see it's getting a lot of popularity in gyms with people wearing barbells across their hips. Well, there's also a machine called the Glute Trainer with metrics as well. That's a really great option to not allowing you to have to climb down the floor and work. Okay, let's do those 3 exercises again. So sit-ups, hands to the back of the head, and then it's going to be the rotations. So 10 punches, 4 rotations. You should get a couple of those in, and then we'll go back onto those mountain climbers. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, up, and then back down. Now we're looking for as much height as you can but making sure that the lift is going upwards, not curling forwards, okay? Think of a crunch as a small range of movement, as much as you can feel comfortable to do. It's not a full sit-up that has a lot of momentum into it. So those crunches, working high and intense onto the stomach muscles. Let's come up and rotate 4 times, and then lower yourself back down. Let's go again. 10 crunches. We're getting used to them now. And then what we'll do is we'll come up with the 4 rotations, and then we'll be on to our mountain. And let's go up, rotate, 2, 3, 4. Okay, onto this mountain climber. So onto your front. Hands underneath your shoulders, a really strong plank position again. And then from here, you're going to really hold a really strong press up. Nice flat back if you can. Try not to round your back. You want to keep your shoulder blades back and down if you can. Let's go for this. So now the speed that you want to work is up to you. Remember that eyes looking at the imaginary line between your fingertips. If you can turn your elbows forwards a little bit, that's a really nice way of doing it. Now you keep this going. When I say turn your elbows forwards, it's almost that position. So your elbow pit comes forwards a little bit. Now the benefit of doing that is it helps keep your weight into your hands, so you're not rounding your back as well. So you can have that nice little tip for you. Keep driving those knees in. We've got just over 10 seconds of work here, then on to the glute train. We're going to mimic that glute bridge. Last few, and relax there. Okay, I'll lie down on your backs again. So here's the glute bridge. Heels dug into the floor, hands down by your side. You're going to hinge upwards, and then lower your hips down towards the floor. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Dig those heels in, extend through the hips. Create as much height in the hips as possible, and then lower your hips back down. What we're looking to do is just to try and keep that range of movement really high. At the top of the movement, think about squeezing your bum cheeks just for a second, and then you lower yourself back down. This helps make sure that all the muscles that we want turned on are going to be activated and giving you the best amount of contraction. One that gives you more tone, it engages more muscles, but at the same time, it's just a really good way of making sure that your alignment is good. So your hips are nice and straight, especially when your glutes are squeezed as well. So the last couple of these, we're going to go on to our 3rd round of exercises, starting off with a split squat. Okay, release it there. So the mat can go out the way if you want to, but you can leave it down. We do have another exercise on the floor. So a split squat. What we're going to do on this one is 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. You can see I've rested my knee at the moment. I'm going to keep my legs where they are. It'll be 20 seconds on each leg. So let's go for this. So just lower yourself up and down. When you're doing these exercises, back stays nice and straight. Try and get equal pressure between both feet. If this front knee can stay over the ankles, that's your goal. Okay, so think about that back knee coming down and then extending up again. Think about scissoring those legs tight together and then lower yourself back down. Scissoring nice and tight. And the goal behind that is it keeps the muscles contracted. Okay, let's swap the legs over. Same thing again. Set yourself up nice and tall. Scissor those legs together. Lower yourself back down. Might only feel like a short 20 seconds, but when we come back around to these exercises, that's when they really start to challenge you a little bit more. So think of these ones as almost activating the muscles, then we'll give them a little bit of recovery, then we're going to really work them as well. This is good. Keep strong. And relax there. Okay. Next exercise is going to be down on the floor. It's going to be a diving press up. Now check this one out. In the press up position, draw your hips towards your heels, push yourself into that press up, and then back down to it. Okay, so if you're on your feet, this is what it's going to look like. Here's the option on the knees. Still the same motion, but the knees rest onto the floor. If you can let your chest touch the floor and then push yourself back out of it, that's a really high standard. So you get a really deep range of movement. Okay? You're strong for that press up. The other option is just to do a standard press up, either on your knees if you wanted to. So you could just be here. And if you are, just 5 seconds left to go. Let's keep them going. Okay, relax there. Great job. So now you've got the 3 exercises. The split squat in a static position. Okay, the dive press up, and then the jumping lunges. Okay, so in 3, 2, 1, split squat. Let's go with these. So just bring yourself up. Keep a nice strong position, lower yourself back down. Again, One of the benefits of these exercises are great for activation. Now this is where the tough exercises that you have done are really going to challenge you a little bit more. Okay, let's swap the legs over. Same thing, opposite side. I'm just changing position. You can just swap the legs over if that's the room that you've got. Just keep it strong. Keep that front knee over the ankle if you can. Last 5 seconds of work to go. Good, okay, shake them out. Let's go back down to those drive press-ups. So what we're going to be doing is diving into position moves, really low drive position and being strong to push away. Option of doing these on your feet or your knees, it's totally up to you. Let's get set up. I'll show you the knee option to begin with. Hips go back towards the heels. Dive into position, drive yourself back out. Dive into position, lowering your hips and the chest towards the floor, and then back out. If you're on your feet, let's have a look. Really strong position, very challenging position as well, because you're almost loading the arms the whole time. If you're on your knees, you could just do basic press-ups, whatever level of intensity you want it to be. This is your gold standard. Last 5 seconds. And there. Okay. Now, last exercise. Jumping lunges. Now, we've worked the legs hard so far. This is where they're going to be really challenged. So, here's how it's going to work. 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. We jump up in the air, swap the feet over. Let's go for this. So what we're going to be doing here, 45 seconds of work, doing as much work as you feel is comfortable to do. Remember, if this is too much for you at any time, why not just try a step back lunge? So you can take the jump away if you need to, but if you can, let's keep these going. I want you to push your fitness if you've got it in the locker. Making sure, like we said earlier, that front knee is over the ankle, and that way then you're in a really safe, strong position for the knees. In mid-air is when they swap, landing with a strong position. Last 10 seconds of work to go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Be strong, be strong, be strong. 3, 2, 1. Give those legs a little shake. Well done. They are tough. It's a tough exercise there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start our cool down. We're going to allow your heart rate to come back down a little bit. So as your heart rate come back down, just open up through the shoulders, reaching across your body. Now the reason we're picking the shoulders first, allow your heart rate to lower as oxygen comes back into the chest. And as you're doing this one, think about stretching back as far as you feel comfortable. So you keep that nice long stretch going. Now we're going to take it down towards the floor. We're going to go into a couple of yoga positions here. So it's up dog and down dog. So hands underneath your shoulders. Rest your hips down into a nice up dog here. So you can rest your knees on the floor if you need to. You can tuck your toes away if you want to. You can make this position wherever you feel comfortable. From here, you're going to push into your hands. Send your hips high. You can walk your feet forwards a little bit more if you need to. And when you're in this position, you can almost walk your heels a little bit more as well. So think about a nice stretch. If you want to stretch your calves a little bit, then walk your heels. Let's go into that up dog again. So lower your hips down. Nice, strong, long, tall position here. Head looking up nice and high. Again, some nice deep breaths. Let's push back to the hands. Into that downward dog. Okay, now check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to bring 1 foot up to where your hand is. Okay, and reach the arm up nice and high. Now check out my back foot here. I want you to extend so the knee comes off the floor and think about pushing the heel away. Now the benefit of doing that means that the stretch really comes through the legs a little bit more. Look up towards your higher hand and get a really big stretch again. Hand comes back inside the foot. Come back to down facing dog for me. And then we're going to bring the opposite foot up into that high stretch as well. Okay? Now again for this one, you're going to reach your hand up. So check out that back foot. Think about that knee going from bent to extended. And try and lengthen through the whole body here. Good. Slowly bring that down. Good work. Okay, take yourself into a seated position now. What we're going to do is we're going to stretch out the quads and the glutes. So take one foot over your thigh. Now from here, hands go just behind you. And what you're going to do is you're going to bend your knee. What I want to do is start to stretch into your glutes. Now, if that's quite an easy position, you can either be standing, you can roll onto your back if you want to, give it a really big hug in towards your body, or think about pushing your chest towards your leg. Now just develop that stretch a little bit further. Okay, so break those legs out and swap it over as well. So opposite foot comes across, bring the heel in towards you and get a really nice big stretch. Push your hands to your chest, comes closer towards your thigh. Okay, now what we're going to do is come up to a standing position. I'm going to give you a little quad stretch here. So if you want to hold on to something, you can do. And you can also do these on the floor if you want to. But bring your knees close together. Have one foot into the palm of your hand. And then from this position, I'll just turn sideways for you. Think about pushing your foot into your hand, just so you develop that stretch a little bit more. And think about pushing your hips forwards. And get some really nice stretch to the front of the hip as well. Good, little shape. Let's swap it over to the opposite side. Foot comes into the palm of the hand. Stand up nice and tall. Push the foot into that hand. Push through the front of the hip. That opens up the hip joint a little bit more. Good. Give your legs a little shake there. My name's Matt. Thank you very much for watching the Matrix Fitness Live lunchtime workout. We've got another one back at 5 o'clock this evening, and if not, we'll see you on Thursday as well. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.